Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Fab's in the house, and today I'm in the house with two beauties. Here with me I've got the Shirogorov Custom Division Hation and the Shirogorov Hation Zero. These are two beautiful knives. We're gonna just check out the differences between these two models, but hey, don't forget to like the video and to subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying this kind of content right over here. So let's check these guys out. So here we have Custom Division and a production versions of the same model. This is titanium frame lock with carbon fiber scales, and it's like a smaller Hattie. In fact, it's the Hation. It's the smaller version of the pretty famous Hattie model, and of course you have both in both cases carbon fiber scales on the show side, and on the other side you're gonna have your titanium frame lock, in this case with an inlay. But let's just check the differences or similarities in the front side. So the carbon fiber in this case in the production version is a white carbon fiber, and you can see there's some nice white accent. You can find this in many colors: green, red, blue, black, and some other colors. I think orange as well. I might be wrong, but anyways, you can find these guys in many colors. And I believe this guy, I only saw this one in blue. And this one has like some very, very light blue accent infused in the carbon fiber. And of course, these blue accents are matching the pivot collar over here, the logo, the screw, the back spacer, and the pocket clip, and of course the pivot collar on the back. In this case, you don't have any pivot collar. There's no anodization on the screws, on the back spacer, or on the pocket clip. So, because of course this is a cheaper version, this is a production model. So this one is going to have some more work into it for sure. Also from like this side, the presentation scale, you can maybe appreciate there's some milling lines going on. I don't know if you can show, because the pattern of the carbon fiber is kind of like concealing the overall patterns, but it's like wave. You can actually feel it. It's not like smooth. Whereas in this case, the carbon fiber is smooth, but there's like this pretty cool milling, which reminds of like a previous version. I think it's the retro, and it's a fantastic milling, which is also replicated in the back of the knife. The main difference is that you can see maybe from this angle. For the Hation production, you see these scales are flat. These are two-dimensional, whereas in the custom division, these scales are like three-dimensional. So there's like some curvature like here and here, so that to render these scales in a much more beautiful way to the look and also to the touch and the feel. You're gonna feel that this is not a flat slab of carbon fiber. Also, like the amount of chamfering going on the perimeter, you can see it's a little bit more angled on this in this area over here especially, and I think this scale here for the custom division is a little bit thicker than the one on the Hation on the production. Let me actually take a caliper and just measure this to make sure I'm not saying anything wrong. So this is going to be 0.13 for the custom division, and for this is yeah, 0.11. So yeah, you see a little bit thicker for the custom division. It's gonna feel the hand a little bit nicely, a little bit more in a better way. Also, another little difference is the hardware employed. You can see that this is a classic Shirogorov screw, and you can see that this is just the custom division screw, so you're gonna need an extra tool, an extra bit to take this guy apart. So keep that in mind. Another difference is that the pivot is keyed in, so there's a ball bearing line underneath this pivot, which is there is an indentation in the carbon fiber, and the ball bearing is just gonna fit there, so this one is not gonna spin. In fact, you have to access the pivot from the other side, and it's gonna be using the same bit as you're gonna be needing for to take down the Hation Zero. But on the other side, the Hation Zero is just there's nothing to do. And also, like on this, as you can see, this is not that deep, so there's no way you're going to be able to stick like your tool in on this side, and this side doesn't really spin, so you have to access it from the back. So keep that in mind. Of course, pivot color in the custom division is blue anodized. In this case, there's no pivot color. And also, from this point of view, I think there's not really many more differences. You can check, like from this angle over here, that the centering backspacer is a little bit more elaborate from this perspective on the production model. In this, in the custom division, it's just like flush up to the end, so just a little bit different. Of course, there's anodization going on for the custom division, which is lacking in the production. If you check the backspacer, the lanyard hold, which is integrated in the backspacer, you can see that actually in the production version there's more room to introduce like your paracord or whatever, whereas in the custom division, you see you have just a little, it's like more like the Quantum, so it's like more like subdued, more like hidden, but you have just to sneak it down here, so it might require a little bit more effort to install a lanyard, but if you check the backspacer differences, look at that. I mean, it's not comparable. This has another level of chamfering going on all the way down, and then there's some, you see, it goes inside like that. It's just beautifully done. This is a little bit more flat and less with, I would say, less attention. I mean, there is a lot of attention, but less compared to this guy over here. If you check the area around the flipper tab for the index finger, like when you just do this movement over here, you can notice that in the production you have a little bit of chamfering around, and there's no chamfering around the flipper tab in the custom division. If you check the flipper tab, it's basically the same. There's just a little bit, just you see, this is a little bit shorter, just a tiny bit from the jimping point of view. Stop pin is the same, so nothing really different than that. There's a big difference on this side over here. You have like two chamfers going on, whereas on the production there's just nothing. It just continues like the regular chamfering that is all around the scale, but in this case there's a bit deeper groove. Pretty cool. Of course, the production version is sporting like an inlay, which is very, very nicely done. Look at that. It's sticking out a little bit. In this case, there's nothing. There's no inlay, but there is some extremely, extremely fine milling. Let me just wipe this out. Look at that. There's some very, very fine milling going on the scale. It's absolutely gorgeous. Of course, you have another milling line over there. And I mean, it's pretty much the outline is the same. Of course, you have the pivot collar going on for the custom division. And you have one other big difference, which is the screw for the stainless steel lock face insert, which is absent in the production version because it's glued in. I'm not sure if it's press fit or if it's glued, but there's no screw on the inside. Whereas in this case, you have a classic Shirogorov screw on the outside, and I much prefer this version over here. Also, if you check the clips, there's some differences here. Like the heel of the clip, like over here, it's quite different. The shape, it is absolutely different. Both are sporting hidden hardware for that. And look at the profile. I mean, maybe you can see better like this. So pretty different exiting and entering ramp on the clip. The Hation Zero has quite some strong clip, and it's a little bit softer on this one, and that's why I prefer much more this one. This clip also has another 2-level of chamfering going on here, and it's much nicely done, rounded off on the tip, whereas here it's kind of a little bit sharper than this one. This is more rounded off, so just keep that in mind. Another little difference is that the cutout for the lock bar, it's external on the production, and it's internal on the custom division to keep the lines really, really clean, as you can see from this point of view. So absolutely cool. I mean, the back of the custom division, it's so neat and clean, and of course, like it's lacking also the screw protrude, like sticking, showing, sorry, like it is on the production version. So just keep that in mind. But beside that, I'm not seeing any other differences from this point of view. If we open the blade, we're going to notice another sets of differences, because the custom division has a gorgeously ground spine. Look at that. I never seen anything like this. There's kind of like two swedges going on. One, it's like this, you see, it's narrowing at this point and then widening and then narrowing again and then sweeping down. It is just gorgeously done. Whereas here, you have just one long sweeping swedge, but very, very narrow from the jimping to this area where you get the drop point. And here, you can also see a much different edge profile. So the production has basically 80% belly in the blade and just straight edge up to the sharpening choil, whereas the custom division has, I would say, like 40% belly and then 60% of straight edge up to the sharpening choil. If you check the plunge grinds, maybe like this, you can see that the production version has a little bit wider plunge grind, and of course there's a very, very different finish, because like the custom division is sporting like satin mirror, kind of like mirror polished flats with a gentle stone wash, but it's like vapor blast. It doesn't even look like stone washed for the primary bevel, whereas in this case you got probably a little harsher medium for the stone wash, and also the flats are going to be stone washed as well. Also, the custom division is lacking a jimping on the spine of the blade, which is present in the production version. And the production version also is showing some kind of like an orange peel finish in the grooves of the jimping. Another little difference, of course, you've got the custom division logo shining in the show side, and just the bare on the production M390 logo and S90V marking for the blade in the custom division. So also, like if you check maybe here from this perspective here, you can actually see that the custom division has an extra level of chamfering going on for the flipper tab. Maybe you can see better like this, you see? It's a little different. The chamfering on the flipper tab just extends up to the plunge grind, where the plunge grind ends, whereas here it's just a little bit different. There's kind of like an indentation, like a rounding off area, whereas here it's just more continuously going up to the plunge grind. And so these are all the aesthetical differences. Let's just quickly check the weight, because these two guys are going to be a little bit different in weight. So this is going to be the production version, weighing in at 2.59 ounces. So fantastic EDCable knife, and 2.59. So pretty much, the same deal. So not so different, but this is counterintuitive, because we said that the scales are thicker. So how come this is thicker but the weight is the same? Yeah, because there's no internal skeletonization going on the carbon fiber in the production version, and you have some internal milling going on, which you maybe cannot see from this point because it's pretty dark, but it's there. And also the internal chamfering on the lock side, it's much bigger on the custom division. On the production, you can see there's some like milling lines, but not like milling pockets. And that's why they could employ thicker scales, both for the carbon fiber and the titanium. But look at the milling going on the custom division. It's just extensive. It's a lot. There's really deep pockets created in order to reduce the weight considerably. Just a little difference that I notice also is in this sound. This is the sound of the production. Nice and crisp. And deeper sound for the custom division. You see, it's a deeper cluck. And this is a crisper click when you close it for the production and for the custom. So the custom has a next level sound. I think it's like, it's beautiful. The closing sound is fantastic and the opening sound has a deeper and rich sound. This is nice and crisp and higher pitch in the closing position, so a little bit different. It's not huge, but I can definitely say that I prefer the custom version for sure. Also, like in the hand, this guy is gonna feel fantastic. You have a little bit of dip here for the thumb, and it fills the hand beautifully. It's not a big knife, of course. This also feels really great in the hand, zero hot spots going on whatsoever, but being a little bit flatter in the scales, it just fills my hand a little bit less. So that's why I prefer the ergos of this guy a little bit more. So, I mean, overall, you can't really go wrong with any of these two knives. They're two fantastic options from Shirogorov. If you like lightweight knives, clean looks, simple construction, reliable, I mean, and high quality, you can't really go wrong with any of these two guys. So, there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please, don't forget to subscribe. And thanks for watching. Stay tuned.